Hey folks, how you doing? Suzy Meadows here. Hey, as you join me, leave a comment so I know you are with me. Today, these are the goodies we are going to be playing with. We're going to be playing with the dots and spots dies and the Shimmery white embossing paste. These are both in the annual catalog, but I thought I would show you a few things to get started. The dots and spots dies is a great die that makes dots and makes holes basically. But as I was looking at it, I got to thinking, I bet there are some other uses for that. And so that's what we're going to use tonight. And actually, tonight, what I'm doing is it's a multi-purpose project. Actually, this is a project I made earlier. It is for a swap that I will be swapping with other demonstrators with my team that I belong to, the Blooms and Butterflies, this weekend. And so as a demonstrator, we have a chance to make a card and then make multiples of them, and we swap with other folks. And this is the one that I made. And as you can see, I use the dots and spots to die cut, but notice there's various colors here behind it. And then look at this. Can you see that shimmery dots there? And that's what I use the embossing paste. So this is the template of what we're going to do. But for this one also, I'm going to do for a color challenge. My team leader, Brandy, she challenges us each month to use some colors that we might not normally use. So she challenged us to make a project with Old Olive, Balmy Blue, and Pale Papaya. And so I'm going to do that. But to get started, I'll just let you know, folks, if you're a beginner, this is an elaborate project. Every once in a while, I like to do a little bit of everything. And this one has a few steps. It's not hard. It just has several steps. And so as a beginner, just pick up a tip or two and try it a little bit. You just maybe you like the embossing paste and you want to try using that, or maybe a die machine. So just watch, but don't get overwhelmed. Remember, last week I did a simple and easy project. So go back and look at that if you're not sure how to stamp and things like that. But like I said, this is for a more elaborate project. So, okay, like I said, these are the things we're using. Now, I could use embossing paste on this, but it would make this awful messy. Yes, I could clean it up, but it's also thicker than what I wanted. So what I can do and what I have done is I've made my own stencil. So, the die cut, we can cut more than paper. We can cut fabric, and in this case, it's plastic. And what this is, when you get photopolymer stamp sets, it comes like this. It has 2 sheets of plastic. Well, I just took one of these because I don't need 2, because when I'm using stamps, when I'm done, I'll put them back in here. So I don't need these 2 sheets, so I reuse them. Or if you don't have that, you can use window sheets. And we've got them in our annual catalog. They're 12 by 12. And you can use those to make shaker cards and different things. But I actually reused this plastic here. And that's how I came up with this. As you can see, I've used it. And we're going to use that first. I think we're going to get going here. Okay. So the first thing, I'm going to move some stuff back. Okay. And we'll get our die out of the way. We're actually going to use it. I'm going to die cut with that. But I have got a card, and like I said, I ran this plastic sheet through, and so I have my stencil or mask, whatever you want to call it, and I want the embossing paste here and here. So I'm just going to open it up, and I just need a little bit. I don't need a lot. So I've got a little bit here, and with this palette, I'm just going to come on down. Hey, Sue, glad you're joining me. I am working on an elaborate card for a color challenge. And so I'm using the Shimmery White Embossing Paste. So there we go. Get that extra off from here. I want to get that in. Okay. Now I want to get this over here. And I just use some, you can use washi tape, painter's tape, or whatever. And because I don't need this embossing paste over the whole card because it's going to be hidden with an art panel. So I'm just truly going to be, I'm just adding the paste where it needs to be. So I put it on here and now I'm cleaning it up because I'm done. And so I put my unused back in there. I close it up. Now this, it's good to clean up while you don't want it to dry. You can, but then you have to scratch it off. So this is just a wet paper towel. And there we go, we've got that. And let's go ahead. And the reason I did this is because I want this to dry. It doesn't take very long to dry. So see, isn't this pretty? Let me get this off from here. And I just got a wet paper towel and I'm putting that on here so I can wash that up later. But okay, get this out of the way. So we're going to put this to the side and let it dry. Like I said, this is a color challenge and I wasn't sure what color I wanted to use for my card base. So these are my 3 colors. And earlier I put some of the dots on the balmy blue and on the pale papaya. And I decided I liked it best on the old olive, even though the balmy blue was my second. The pale papaya was just a little too light for me. So that's what we've got. So we're going to set this to the side. And we're going to go to our next step here. And I'm going to bring the big boss. It's the Stampin' Cut and machine. And I have got, now you know your dies. You normally put your paper down and put the die and put a cutting plate on top. But I want to place this. So I'm going to cut it this way. This is my panel, and I'm wanting to place it because I don't want a hole right here on the edge. So I'm just placing it where I think I want it, right there. And I can put some, I'm going to go ahead and put tape on. I wouldn't have had to, but I might just knock it around, and I don't want you to have to wait while I redo it. And so you can see this is a well-loved cutting plate. And just put that on top. And now I'm going to rock your world because I'm going to run this through and listen to the cracks. Actually, that's pretty quiet. Earlier, when I ran the plastic window sheet through, oh, it did a lot of singing for me. Now, you can save these little dots if you like shaker cards. But we're not going to save this one, so I'm just going to pull it up. And look at that. Okay, we'll get this out of the way. So now, I want to get that. Show you how to die cut that. So, okay. Next, so we've got, I'm pulling the washi tape off. I'm wondering what I'm doing. Okay, so now, this piece goes right underneath it. And so I'm going to use my colors here, and I'm going to use a blending brush, and I'm going to put the colors back behind it. So, okay, so I'm going to start at the top. I want the pale papaya, so I've got my blending brush here. Oops, I'm scooting things around, aren't I? It's because I don't have this here. I need to put my Post-it here. Get this down here so it will hold it. There we go. Maybe that will help me. Okay, so I don't want to, oops, I'll do this on so you can see the camera. And I like starting here because that's where most of the ink is. And I'm just going to swirl it around and make it light. Well, I want a little bit darker. So there we go. Okay, and like I said, this is a color challenge. And so this is how I'm using my 3 colors. So there's my pale papaya. Next, I have my balmy blue, and I've done some parts of this ahead of time because I don't want to keep you forever. So I've done some stamping and some cutting ahead of time, but I did want to show you the steps of how to do this. Like I said, this is also the same design I did for a swap card, and that I'm going to be doing with some of my teammates this weekend. I'm excited. There's going to be 1,000 demonstrators coming into Indianapolis for, we call it On Stage. It's basically our convention, and we're having them several places. I forget how many locations they are throughout the U.S., and then I know Vienna is where the actual in-person 3-day event is. But we're doing a local one here. And so that's going to be fun. Okay, so get this. So let me show you what this looks like. And let me pull this up so you can see better. Isn't this pretty? You've got your color, your 3 colors through here. Okay, so now what I used was, this is my favorite go-to greetings. I love this stamp set. It's in the annual catalog. And I've used Happy Birthday, Thinking of You, Just a Note. We'll be using those. And I think what I'm using just a note. Because actually what I did, I have already, like I said, I don't want to keep you forever. So I have already adhered this. I have stamped just a note, and I've used this pretty glittered organdy ribbon. I love that. You can see the sparkles in there. So I've got that. So now let's put this on our card, and I'm going to just adhere it with some glue. I like putting some extra glue on the ribbon so it will stay. And just going to center that. Looks like, okay. I'm looking through the camera, so that means I'm not straight on, so I can very easily do something crooked here. So there we go. So we've got that. And now what I don't know if you noticed, these flower adhesive back trinkets. They're in the annual catalog, and if you look at them, they've got a little groove on the center. And before I put sequins in there and such, they are in brass, champagne, and silver. But what I thought it needed something else. So can you see that little, it looks like a little pearl in there. And actually what it is the pearlized enamel effects. I love these things, and I tried 3 different. Here I did the gray, and here I did the red. I'm going to use those on some Christmas, I think. But on this one, the white is what I'm going to use. So let me get this off. Okay, and where I think it's going to go right there is where I want it. So there we go. So like I said, gang, beginners, this is not a beginning card because I've added things. I've used the embossing paste. I've used some blending brushes for my coloring back behind. And the Just a Note, I just fussy cut around that. And here I embellished. I added some, I bumped that up, those embellishments. So gang, I love, as you guys, if you've been following, you know, I love crafting, whether it's on my weekly Facebook Live, which is what this is, or I'll be saving this over on YouTube. But locally, my next class is at the Lebanon Library, and that's November 17th. And I've got 2 different sessions at 3 p.m. or 5:30. And I just put the notification on Facebook and on my website. So gang, let me know if you're interested in that class. I need to know Tuesday, not tomorrow, the following Tuesday, the 14th, so I can get the packets together. And the class is $20, or it's free if you make a $35 purchase. And you can make that purchase here at my website using this host code. So gang, I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, this was short and sweet, but I didn't want you to have to watch while I, took the time doing everything. So I did a few things ahead of time. But so this is my color challenge this month, and I took that off from my, basically a template. This is one of my swap cards that I'm sharing with the blooms and butterflies. So I'll be doing this on Friday. So gang, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. If you got any questions, this is how you get a hold of me, craftingwithsuzy.stampinup.net. Otherwise, come back next Monday, 5 o'clock. That's when I do my weekly Facebook Lives. And I look forward to seeing you. And thanks so much. And gang, if you've got a crafty friend, you might share this video with them. They might enjoy seeing how we do this. Or on my YouTube channel, leave a comment for sure. Let me know if you like this, if there's a certain part you liked more than the other, and then hit subscribe and hit the notifications bell. So that way you'll see when I'm uploading something else. I've got about 150 videos over there on my YouTube channel. So have fun browsing. So, hey, thanks so much, gang. It's good seeing you. And I will catch up with you next week. Toodles. Bye-bye.